Okay, so I'm being asked this question actually quite often lately, and I really don't know why, but since I'm actually not bothered to answer it, I'm gonna explain it in the video. Why is Ghost so hated? This is coming from players who either haven't played the game or haven't consistently played the game to know why it's so hated by the community, and I'm gonna explain it today. Alright, without any further ado, let's get the video started. Okay, I'm gonna kick off the video with a little history. Now, if you don't already know, Infinity Ward is probably one of the most significant developers for Call of Duty. They started off the series, they made the first Call of Duty, and they revolutionized it by making Modern Warfare, or COD 4, and they continued to make Modern Warfare 2, which also was one of the best, if not the best, Call of Duty game. But after Modern Warfare 2, the employees kind of had a fallout with Activision. If you didn't know this, Activision was underpaying the employees. I'm pretty sure that was the problem. And they ended up leaving, most of them. And the developers actually went on to make Respawn Entertainment and Titanfall, Titanfall 2, etc, etc. So, I mean, they went from one horrible corporation to the other, but that's beside the point. So, Infinity Ward was left by itself to make Modern Warfare 3. Well, a Call of Duty developer is never really alone because they have other side developers like Raven and stuff like that, but nobody's ever majorly helped on a Call of Duty game. And since the Infinity Ward team was kind of short and most of the creative developers kind of bye-byed, they had to call in another studio, and that studio was Sledgehammer. Now these guys, they had a history of making horror games, so I mean, Anyway, Modern Warfare 3 is, to this day, the single best-selling game in Call of Duty history. So, it wasn't bad. I mean, I personally didn't, really like Modern Warfare 3, but, you know, it is the single best-selling game in Call of Duty history. So, you probably have Sledgehammer, Activision, Raven to thank for that. But, when it came to Ghosts, they didn't have Sledgehammer's help, because Sledgehammer was now making their own Call of Duty games. So Infinity Ward was stuck. They had to hire new people, there was no chemistry, and when Ghosts came around, there was just no heart in it. If you noticed, the DLC was full of characters that were nowhere near inside the Call of Duty franchise. Jason, Predator, crap like that. No, that does not belong in a Call of Duty game. They were so desperate. I mean, for God's sake, they were bragging about how good their fish AI was in campaign. Their fish AI, that's what they were bragging about. It was honestly sad. But the fans still had high hopes for it. It was still Infinity Ward. I mean, these guys made gold. So when Ghosts came around and we wanted to play the campaign, it was a letdown. Even if they didn't come with that much history, it was still a letdown. The campaign was just horrible. There was no connection to the characters. Nobody was ever remembered. It was just bad. There weren't any key moments of oh yeah dude, remember that time in Ghost campaign? No. It was just a terrible campaign with a storyline that didn't make sense, and I'm just gonna touch on this slightly. What were the physics in that space mission? They were honestly horrendous. If you shoot a gun in space, you're not gonna just stand still. The whole thing just sucked. Honestly, it did. But I will give them a nod to this. Everybody in the community kind of thought that they were copying off themselves with, that cutscene at the end of Modern Warfare 3 and the beginning cutscene in Ghosts. Yeah, everybody thought they were copying off each other, but they were really making an Easter egg or having a little hidden Easter egg. But I mean, I appreciate them for that, but still just a horrible campaign. One of the worst. Oh, and one more thing about the campaign, which is actually going to connect the campaign to multiplayer. Why the emphasis on dogs? I did not understand it throughout the entire game. Why was there so much emphasis on dogs? Riley was practically useless the entire campaign. I mean, you can use him for a few missions. That mission where you played as a dog, really, Infinity Ward? A dog? And you can send him and he can attack people, but it was honestly just useless, and he was just following you around and going every time he got shot. it was just bad. Like, I don't understand the emphasis on dogs. I really don't. Why Riley had to exist, I have no idea. Oh, and it went into multiplayer because of course it did. You can call in that stupid streak dog and you'll just whistle and he just boing, pop out of nowhere. Just dumb, dude. Just absolutely dumb. And now let's move on to multiplayer. And since this is where most players spend most of their time, we're gonna emphasize on it a lot. Like they emphasized that stupid dog. Anyway, we're gonna kick things off with the time to kill, which was so slow. And that'll actually lead us to the next point, but I'll go over that in a second. Why did you have to make all the guns weak or all the characters so powerful? The time to kill was so slow in the game. I could literally be shot in the back, turn around, shoot the other person, and still be alive with plenty of health. It was sad, and it made the games go on forever. And if your game, especially a Call of Duty game, goes on unfinished after the timer ends of 10 minutes, nobody in a team deathmatch can get 100 kills with 6v6. Yeah, that's just sad. That's not supposed to happen. And fine, you want to happen? Okay, it could happen once, twice in a month. Even that is exaggerating. It was happening so damn often in Ghosts that it was seriously irritating me that we couldn't finish matches. It was whoever can get the most kills and just wait it out. The maps were campy. They had way too many corners people can just sit in. It was just bad. The maps were way too big. The competitive scene was just, don't even get me started on that. And actually, that'll lead me to my next point. The maps were way too big. Why did you have to make maps the size of the freaking Titanic? This wasn't Battlefield. Like the time to kill, this also helped with not being able to finish the game. We could never actually get 100 kills. Nobody could, or 75, whatever. Actually, I don't remember which one it was. But anyway, it was just bad. It really was. We could never finish a game. And I can't tell you this, but I need to emphasize it so much. Because it's a Call of Duty. It's supposed to be fast-paced, fun, game to game, just hopping. It was bad. And sliding, really? I mean, okay. And the interactive maps, they barely helped. I mean, I'm just saying, that Fallout map, really? That was just shaking your screen for a minute and a half. The maps, I get they were trying to make them interactive and a little fun and innovative, but it turned out to be just kind of lame and eh. Their smallest map was literally twice the size of Nuketown, which is just plain sad. So, Infinity War, they actually did improve on this in Infinite Warfare, although, I mean, that's a topic for another video. But I cannot emphasize enough how bad the maps were, which made the multiplayer pretty horrendous too. Okay, so if you're not a consistent player and you don't play Call of Duty often, and you don't keep up, and you don't play consistently throughout the year, that's what I mean. You don't know this, but the little things count so much to having fun. The tiny stuff, the little bugs, the little things that just turn you off from the game. You know what I mean? And one of those things was IEDs. Oh my god. Those things, if you play Black Ops 3, they were twice as bad as breadsheets. You would leave them on the floor and they were instantly gonna explode. If anybody comes within a mile distance, they will blow you to hell. And it was so irritating because people always left them in the tiniest corners near doors. And you could put them everywhere. You could put them on top of door rooms, hallways, everywhere. And they were just annoying. They really was. They didn't have any indicator, didn't have any noise. It just blew up in your face, ruined your score streaks. And the person who got them got a pre-kill. And they were basically used by every damn player known to man. And again, it really is. It's the little stuff that counts. Like the non-existent gun balance. There were 3 weapons that were mainly used in multiplayer. The Honey Badger, the Reaper, and the ARX 160. And those things just dominated the entire multiplayer lore, which was irritating and not fun. Okay, now I could honestly ramble about the multiplayer for years and I wouldn't be done. But let's move on to Extinction. And as a long-term fan of zombies in this community and in Call of Duty itself, I despised Extinction. It was just a spit in the face to people who liked zombies. They copied the mode, they tried to change it into something their own, and they failed miserably. It was just so bad. The objective was literally written on your screen. There was no hidden, well, I mean, yeah, there were hidden Easter eggs, but still, the maps were just horrendous. And there was just no replayability. There really weren't. The first time I got through, I didn't feel excited. I just felt like, yeah, well, whatever. I still can get hit a million times before I die. Which, by the way, was another thing. You had like a little health bar, which made it completely unthreatening. The little aliens were just stupid and not scary, and the big ones were also stupid and not scary. So Extinction within itself, it was just a horrible idea copied off a good mode. They tried to copy the zombies trend that Treyarch started. They were the first studio to try something besides a separate little third-party game mode. You know, like the squad stuff and like that, the previous Modern Warfare stuff, which was fun. They should have continued off of that. I actually enjoyed those. Anyway though, I'm done rambling for today. That's gonna wrap it up for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.